We'll be continuing with concept of mutual fund. So let me first revise what we have done yesterday, but in short period of time, we will be revising concept of mutual fund. Concentrate, what is mutual fund is, there is a fund which is managed by a company who hires a portfolio manager. People invest their money. People invest their money into this fund. Is it alright? So, money are with fund. For this money, they will be creating portfolio. Is it alright? So that they get two types of return. One is interest/dividend. Another is capital gain on purchase and sale of asset. Is it alright? So, this interest and dividend as well as capital gain, they sometimes give it to their unit holders. Sometimes will give to their unit holders. And sometimes they will be keeping it with them. That is retained. If they are distributed to unit holders, what will be the case of unit holders? For unit holders, this is a dividend and capital gain distributed. It is income for them. If they are retained by mutual fund, they will be having benefit in NAV. So whatever income is earned from portfolio, ultimately unit holders are benefited. If the portfolio performs well, unit holders will be ultimately benefited. Is it correct? Yes. If interest and dividends are distributed to unit holders for mutual fund, see the money whereof unit holders, it is given back to them. Is it alright? It will be nothing but cash outflow. So cash will reduce. And if it is retained by mutual fund, try to concentrate, cash will not reduce. So whenever this is received, there is cash inflow. Is it correct? Whenever this is received, it is a cash inflow. For mutual fund. Is it correct? For mutual fund. If they are distributed to unit holders, there will be cash outflow. If they are retained, there will be no cash outflow. And so it will be helping out in increasing the NAV. Is it correct? Yesterday we did one part, that is from the point of view of unit holders. We were learning what is return of unit holders. How to find out a return on investment? For any case, return on investment is nothing but return divided by investment multiplied by 100. What is income or return for unit holders in mutual fund? One is capital gain. If NAV was 10, now it is 15, they are having capital gain of rupees 5. So it is NAV at 1 year minus NAV at 0 year. This is their capital gain. Is it all? Plus this interest, dividend, capital gain which is distributed to unit holders is also income. Is it all? Capital gain and interest distributed is also their income. Is it all? Divided by investment, NAV 0, multiplied by 100, and by this formula we did a concept of a return of unit holders. Now, if this return is taken for 4 months, you need to convert it into per annum. The answer you will be getting is return of 4 months and not percentage per annum. Normally it is denoted in percentage per annum. Is it alright? So this is a case of mutual fund. Second portion is pending in the second lecture, which is from the point of view of mutual fund. What is NAV? So let us do that from the point of view of mutual fund. How they will calculate a net asset value? Sorry. Believe me, it is a market value of portfolio. Net asset value, and it is always given per unit. No need to write down it as per unit. It is always given per unit. Sorry. Plus minus cash balance. See, cash balance is also a part of portfolio. Is it alright? So, even if we write down separately, it is absolutely alright. This is total asset minus outstanding liabilities. See, mutual fund salary, if all, mutual fund portfolio manager salary, if already paid, will be reduced from cash. But if salary is not paid, it would be in outstanding and will be reducing my net asset. Will be net asset. And NAV is equal to net asset divided by number of units will give me answer of NAV. Is it alright? So, what we'll be doing in the second lecture is we will be from the point of view of mutual fund and we will be calculating net asset value. Is it alright? Let us go to some question. We'll be going 6.9. Easiest question which is asked in examination as far as mutual fund is concerned, November 2014. Cinderella Mutual Fund had the following asset in the scheme, Rudolph, at the close of the business on 31st March 2014. So it is as on 31st March 2014. These are the shares they are having. The total number of units of the scheme Rudolph is 10 lakhs. The scheme Rudolph has an accrued expense of 2,50,000 and other liabilities of 2 lakhs. Calculate NAV per unit of scheme of Rudolph. Is it alright? So let me first find out portfolio value, market value of portfolio, how many shares it is having. N, D, S and C. Number of shares are 25,000. Current market value is 20. This is 35,000. Current market value is 300. This is 29,000. Current market value is 380. This is 40,000. Current market value is 500. Is correct. This is market value of portfolio. If we just total out this, it is 25,000 into 20 is equal to M plus 35,000 into 300 is equal to M plus 29,000 into 380 is equal to M plus 40,000 into 500 is equal to M plus. MRC is 420 lakhs 20,000. This is value of portfolio or total asset because cash balance is not given minus outstanding liability 2,50,000 minus 2 plus 2 lakhs, that is 4,50,000 minus outstanding liability 4,50,000. If I subtract this, it is 420,000 minus 4,50,000 is equal to 415,70,000. This is nothing but my net asset. So my NAV will be is equal to net asset 415 divided by total number of units is 10 lakhs. It is 41.57 is nothing but a net asset value. And in CA final also this type of questions are asked. Some students normally make this mistake that this type of questions cannot be asked in examination because it is so much easy, and they find out some hidden adjustment from this. This should not be done. Is not a simple way by which a mutual fund finds out NAV, net asset divided by total number of units. Is not. Let us go one by one in other questions of Six point 4 5. Yes, 6.5. See 6.5. A mutual fund company has the following asset under it on the close of the business as on 1st February also detail is available and 2nd February also detail is available. Sir, NAV changes daily? Yes, because market value of the shares changes daily. Company L, M, N and P are there. Number of shares are 20, 30, 20,000, 60,000. 1st February market price is given and 2nd February even market price is given. Total number of units are 6 lakhs. Calculate net asset value of the fund. Now there is no point given of liability. First I am finding out of 1st February. NAV as on 1st February. It will be total of this, will be my net asset. You need to present it in a better way, but multiplication of this two will be nothing but net asset. Let me do it in calculator. 20,000 into 20 is equal to M plus 30,000 into 312.4 is equal to M plus 20,000 into 361.2 is equal to M plus 60,000 into 505.1 is equal to M plus MRC is 473 2000. What will be net asset value as on 1st February 2012 is 473 2000. Total asset divided by number of unit is 6 lakhs. This is nothing but NAV as on 1st February. 473 divided by 6 lakhs. It is 78.83. Is it correct? Is NAV as on 1st February 2012. Why I am not finding out of 2nd February? Try to concentrate in second question. They are giving us something. Following information is given. Assuming one Mr. A submits a check of rupees 30 lakhs to the mutual fund, and mutual fund manager of this company purchases 8,000 shares of M Limited, and the balance amount is held in bank. In such a case, what would be the position of the fund? Now it is not given, but understand it is clear that they might be submitting it on first day, that is on 1st February. Is it correct? Let me assume this is happening on 1st February. Is it correct? Believe me, if someone invests the money and that money is again invested in other securities, remaining is kept in a bank, the NAV should not change. Believe me, NAV should not change. Is it correct? Let me find out revised NAV as on 1st February after this check is received. Is it correct? I will prove that NAV will remain 78.83. Is it correct? But try to concentrate. It is a revised NAV as on 1st February. We have not yet gone to 2nd February. We are still in 1st February. Start. So, to this Mr. A, he is giving 30 lakhs rupees check. What is NAV as on 1st February? 78.83. 78.83. So how many number of units will be issued to this Mr. A? Is correct. Is divided by 78.83. So number of units issued to Mr. A will be 30 lakhs divided by 78.83. It is a 38,056.57. This many number of units might have been issued to Mr. A. Sorry. Try to concentrate what will be revised NAV. See, old portfolio will be of same amount, 473, 2000. How many new shares are purchased? 8,000. Of which company? M Limited. So additional M Limited shares you have purchased 8,000. What is the market price? You are purchasing it on 1st February. Is it correct? So it is 312.40. 312.40. This is market price of the shares of M Limited. The answer is yes. It's correct. Which is nothing but 8,000 into 312.4, which is 24,99,200. 24,99,200. So now there will be cash balance. The answer is yes. There will be cash balance also. Why? Mr. A gave you a check of 30 lakhs, out of which you have utilized only 24,99,200. So remaining will be in bank or cash balance. Is it correct? How much will be cash balance? Is 30 lakhs minus 24,99,200 is 5,800. What will be total net asset value? 473 plus 24,99,200 plus 5,800 is 5,03,000. Sorry, 503,02,000. Will be my revised net asset. Let me find out revised NAV. Will be this 5 lakh 3. It is a 5 crore 3 lakh 2,000 divided by. Now how many number of units will be there? There were already 6 lakhs plus 38,056.57. That is a 6 lakh 38,056.57. Let me find out revised NAV. 5 lakh 3,000, 5 crore 3 lakh 2,000 divided by 638,056.57. It is 78.83. So please understand, whatever mutual fund manager does, they have received 30 lakhs rupees, invested that 30 lakhs rupees, remaining are in bank. Still the NAV is remaining 78.83. I want answer from some of the student why NAV is remaining same. Any student can answer me why NAV is remaining same.
Because the units are issued at same NAV.
Because the units will be issued at same NAV. Because try to concentrate, if person invests their money, they are ultimately investing in the portfolio of mutual fund. They are invested. See, what is increasing in numerator is 30 lakhs. That's correct. What is increasing in numerator, believe me, is 30 lakhs. What is increasing in denominator is 38,056.57. Correct. If you will divide this, see, this is increase in net asset, this is increase in number of units. This will be 78.831. Correct. So mathematically also it is same, and understand whatever number whatever amount increases in portfolio on the same day, whatever investment is made, till the time the price of the shares increases, the NAV will not increase. I am finding out this NAV after Mr. A has submitted the this check. Find new NAV of the fund as on 2nd February 2012. That's correct. Let me find out NAV as on 2nd February. How many shares? LMNP? LMNP. How many shares of L I am having? 20,000. M 30,000 plus 8,000. 20,000 and 60,000. Am I having cash balance? Yes, I have not used it, this cash balance. It is 5,08,000. What is the market price of the shares on 2nd February? 20.5? 360? 383.1? 503.9. The total of this will be 20,000 into 20.5 is equal to M plus 38,000 into 360 is equal to M plus 20,000 into 383.1 is equal to M plus 60,000 into 503.9 is equal to M plus. MRC is 5 crore 19 lakh 86,000. 5 crore 19 lakh 86,000. There are no liabilities. Alright. So 5 crore 19 lakh 86,000 plus 5 lakh 800 is 5 crore 24 lakh 86,800. This is total net asset. Number of units is 6 lakhs. No, 6 lakh plus 38,056.57. That is 6 lakh 38,056.57. NAV as on 2nd February is 524.86,800 divided by 638,056.57. It is 82.26. This is how I will be calculating NAV as on 2nd February. It is just net asset divided by total number of units. Is it correct? This is of 2nd February. Is it? This was question number C, 6.5. We are going to next question. It is 6.10. Somewhat good question. On 1/4/2012, ABC Mutual Fund issued 20 lakhs unit at the rate of rupees 10 per unit. Relevant initial expenses involved were 12 lakhs. It invested the fund so raised in a capital market instrument to build a portfolio of rupees 185 lakhs. During the month of April 2012, it disposed of some of its instrument costing rupees 60 lakhs for rupees 63 lakhs and used the proceeds in purchasing securities for rupees 56 lakhs. Fund management expenses for the month of April 2012 was rupees 8 lakhs, of which 10% was in areas. In April 2012, so they are talking about the same month, in April 2012, the fund earned a dividend amounting to rupees 2 lakhs and it distributed 80% of realized earnings. See, try to understand, they are not just talking about this dividend. They are talking about whatever they are earning, they are distributing it to unit holders in ratio of 80%. Mr. Akash, an investor, subscribed to 100 units on 1/4/2012. That is at opening value of rupees 10. And disposed of the same at a closing NAV as on 30/4/2012. Why this question is falling in NAV? Because as on 30th April, at the end of the month, they have not given NAV. So first we will be finding out NAV and then we will be finding out what was his annual rate of earning. Is it all? So try to concentrate. I am having two parts for calculation. Annual rate of return of investor, I will be doing it afterwards. But first what I am doing is, I am trying to calculate NAV at the end of the period. For that, I will require cash balance. So along with it, I am also finding out cash balance. Is it all right? Calculation of NAV on 30th April 2012. Along with it, I will be finding out my cash balance also. Let's start it. ABC Mutual Fund issued 20 lakhs units at the rate of rupees 10 per unit. Cash balance will increase of how much? 20 lakhs multiplied by 10. It is 200 lakhs. Relevant initial expenses involved were 12 lakhs minus initial expenses. Try to understand all expenses of mutual fund will be given from this cash. Is it correct? Any remaining amount will be invested in portfolio. And what is, let me first verify whether it is 200 lakhs only. It is not 20 lakhs. Yes, it is 200 lakhs. Initial expenses involved were 12 lakhs. It is cash outflow. Sir, what will happen to other assets and liability? Nothing. Is it alright? Or any expenditure will reduce the cash balance. It invested the funds so raised in a capital market instrument to build a portfolio of 185 lakhs. Now, this is my asset. Is it alright? So, portfolio is 185 lakhs. Is it alright? It will be added to my asset, yes. Soon I will be adding it in asset. Is it all? But before that, if you create a portfolio at a cost of 185 lakhs, your cash balance will decrease. Minus invested in portfolio 185 lakhs. Yes, my portfolio has also increased by 185 lakhs. During the month of April 2012, it disposed of some of the instrument costing rupees 60 lakhs. So try to concentrate my costing shares of 60 lakhs are sold. That's correct. this will be, now my portfolio is of 125 lakhs. When I sold this 60 lakhs, I have sold it at lower price or higher price? At higher price. Which is having profit of 3 lakhs. Sorry. When I sell my portfolio, Sachin, you are on the line? No, Mehak. You are on the line?
Yes, sir.
Whether my cash balance will increase by 60 lakhs or 63 lakhs?
63.
Or 3 lakhs?
63 lakhs.
Sure?
Yes.
Sale of investment, it will increase by 63 lakhs. Sir, it will increase by 3 lakhs. No. When you sell your investment, your cash flow is 63 lakhs. Your profit is 3 lakhs. Agreed. Is it alright? But your investment will decrease by 60 lakhs. Cash balance will increase by 63 lakhs and profit will be 3 lakhs. Let me understand what I am doing with this 3 lakhs profit. See, every time I get any yield, realized earnings, I distribute 80% of that to unit holders. Is it correct? So what will happen is, out of this 3 lakhs rupees of profit, 80% will be distributed to unit holders and 20% will be retained. 80% is 2.4 lakhs. This is 0.6 lakhs. Make you are on the line. This 2.4 lakhs will be cash inflow or cash outflow for mutual fund. Cash inflow or outflow?
Cash outflow.
It is cash outflow. Should I not write it down full 3 lakhs?
No, 2.4 lakhs only. We will subtract it.
You will subtract minus, see what I am writing. Capital gain distributed. How much is capital gain distributed? It is a 2,40,000 and it is cash outflow. Last question, Mac. This 0.6 lakh, this is 60,000. Should I add it? Because I have retained it. Should I add it in my cash balance?
No, the 63 lakhs which added it already contains it.
Yes, so 63 lakhs contains 3 lakhs rupees, so no need to again add 60,000. Thank you. And use the proceeds in purchasing securities for rupees 56 lakhs. Now you are purchasing additional security of 56 lakhs. See what will be two effect of purchase of security minus purchase of a security of 56 lakhs. Your portfolio value will increase by additional purchased. It is 63? No, 56. 56 lakhs. So now your portfolio is consisting of securities which is costing 181 lakhs. It distributed 80% of its realized earning that we have done. Okay, this is pending. A fund manager expenses for the month of April was rupees 8 lakhs. Now please understand this is purely an expenditure. Is it alright? So what is the fund manager's expense? 8 lakhs. Out of which, I think you cannot say this. Fund manager expenses is 8 lakhs. Out of this, 10% were in areas. So 80,000 is outstanding. So what might have been paid? 7,20,000 is paid and 80,000 is outstanding. Correct. How much my cash will decrease? My cash will decrease minus fund manager expense paid is 7,20,000 only because 80,000 is outstanding. Sorry. The fund earned a dividend amounting to rupees 2 lakhs. Let me go to dividend. How much dividend is received? 2 lakhs rupees. It is policy of a fund to distribute 80% of earnings, 80% distributed to unit holders. It is 1,60,000. 20% retained will be 40,000. Sorry. What will be the effect? First, you have received the dividend, so there will be cash inflow of 2 lakhs. There will be cash inflow plus dividend received 2 lakhs rupees. Cash inflow, is it alright? You distributed 1,60,000 out of it minus dividend distributed to unit holders 1,60,000. Nothing to do with this 40,000 because it is already added in this 2 lakhs. Is it alright? Sir, whether it will affect my portfolio? No, it does not affect the cost or market value of portfolio when dividend is received. It is income of mutual fund will be added to cash. If it is distributed, it is reduced from the cash. Is it alright? So 80% of the realized earning on 34/2012, the market value of the portfolio was 1,898 lakhs. What is the market value of this portfolio? Is 198 lakhs. So then what is this? This is the cost of portfolio. This is market value of portfolio is 198 lakhs. That's correct. I will be first finding out NAV. That's correct. As on 34/2012, market value of a portfolio is 198 lakhs. All shares, whatever purchased, sold, adjusted, and this is net market value of the portfolio. That's correct. What is other assets lying with this particular portfolio? Cash of this much. That's correct. How much will be cash? 200 lakhs minus 12 lakhs minus 185 lakhs plus 63 lakhs minus 2,40,000 minus 56 lakhs minus 7,20,000 plus 2 lakhs minus 1,60,000. This is 5,60,000. Minus 56 minus 7.2 plus 2 minus 1.6. Is it all? It is 5,60,000. Is my cash? This is assets. Don't forget about the liability which is outstanding, 80,000. Is it all right? It is on the side. Is it all right? This liability of 80,000 outstanding minus outstanding liability of 0.8 lakhs, which is nothing but 80,000. Is it all right? This is minus 0. It is 203.6 divided by 0.8. Sorry. $203.6 minus 0.
Sir, cash balance is 0.8 lakhs.
Cash balance is
0.80 lakhs.
sure.
Yes, sir, I got the answer.
All right, let me redo it. So 200 minus 12 lakhs minus 185 lakhs plus 63 minus 2.4 lakhs minus 56 lakhs minus 7.2 plus 2 minus 1.6. Yes. Yes, it is 0.8. Thank you. It is 0.8 lakhs. This will be 198.8 minus 0.8 will again remain 198 lakhs. Any other assets or liability? No. Sir, I have received this profit, this all profit and dividend. This I have already added in cash balance. It will not increase my portfolio. I have taken market value of portfolio, consider all outstanding liabilities. The net asset is 198 lakhs. So total number of units is 20 lakhs. NAV is equal to 198 lakhs divided by 20 lakhs. That's all right. It is 99 rupees is nothing but 9.9. 9.9 rupees is NAV as on 30th April. So, what was it? 10. What it has become? 9.9. Mr. Akash and investors subscribed to 100 units. Let us talk about Akash. He was having 100 units at the rate of rupees 10. Alright. So he might have invested 1000 rupees. This is per month return. What was his annualized return and disposed of the same at closing NAV of 34/2012? What was his annual rate of earning? First, let me find out monthly earning of Akash with the same formula. Return of investment is equal to NAV1 minus NAV0. This will be his capital gain plus capital gain and dividend distributed upon investment multiplied by 100. Sir, should I calculate per unit or should I calculate total? Believe me, it does not make any difference. You will be getting same answer. Is it alright? Your answer is always a percentage per annum or percentage per month. What is percentage is your calculation will be on 100 rupees invested. Is it alright? So whether you calculate per unit, I normally calculate per unit. What is NAV at the end of the period is 9.9. What is NAV at the beginning of the period is a 10. So here there is a loss of 0.1. What is capital gain and dividend distributed? What is distributed to unit holders? 2,40,000, 1,60,000 is 3 lakhs rupees. But 3 lakhs rupees will be distributed to all unit holders, not only to Akash.
4 lakh rupees.
Sorry, thank you. 4 lakhs rupees will be distributed to all unit holders, not just to Akash. Is it correct? I am finding out my answer per unit. So let me do this. Find out per unit. How many units are there? 20 lakhs. So this 4 lakhs will be distributed to 20 lakhs unit holders. So what is distributed is 0.2 rupees per. What is distributed is 0.2. I am calculating per unit, so all the figures should be per unit. I have got 0.2 rupees in this month as a capital gain and dividend distributed to unit holders per unit. Investment per unit is rupees 10 multiplied by 100. Please understand this answer which I will be getting is a percentage per month because I have taken all the figures in numerator of per month. Is it alright? It is 9.9 minus 10 plus 0.2 divided by 10 multiplied by 100 is 1% per month, that is 12% per annum, is nothing but written what Mr. Akash is getting. Sir, had I calculated a total number of units, then also the answer would have remained same, that is 12% per annum. This is what written Akash is getting. A combined question of NAV also. We have first found out NAV. Looks like more of cash flow statement rather than NAV. And number two, they are also telling us to find out a return on investment for a particular investor who has holded this particular mutual fund for exactly 1 month. That's correct. So both the concepts are covered, NAV as well as return.
Sir,
Yes.
hello.
Yes.
Can you go ahead for the previous slide? I just want to
Yes,
take
you
a
can ask me.
snapshot.
Yes.
No, sir, previous one. No, sir, again previous one. Yeah, this part.
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
Return of 12th one. Again, not very difficult. These are all questions are procedural. That's correct. Whatever we are doing at this in lecture number 2 of mutual fund are all procedural. A mutual fund made an issue of 10 lakhs unit at the rate of rupees 10 on 1st January 2008. No entry load was charged. This I have explained during previous lecture. It made the following investment. So mutual fund made a following investment. 50,000 equity shares at the rate of rupees 160 should be 80 lakhs. 7% government securities 8 lakhs. 9% debentures unlisted 5 lakhs. 10% debentures listed 5 lakhs. Total investment is 98 lakhs. No issue charges. And they have issued 100 lakhs. Is it all right? So 2 lakhs would be cash balance in opening. Is it all right? This will be opening situation. Opening cash will be 2 lakhs. During the year, dividend of rupees 12 lakhs were received. Now, dividend can be received only from equity shares. From this all, you will be getting interest. 12 lakhs were received on equity shares. Interest on all type of debt securities was received as and when due. At the end of the year, equity shares and 10% debentures which are quoted at 175% and 90% respectively. So there is market value even of this debentures. Other investments are at par. Find out the net asset value per unit given that operating expenses paid during the year amounted to rupees 5 lakhs. Also find out NAV if mutual fund has distributed a dividend of rupees 0.80 per unit during the year to unit holders. So I need to find out two answers. NAV in normal case, NAV if mutual fund has distributed a dividend of 0.80 per unit during the year to unit holders. Is it right? So for finding out NAV, I need first all, let me directly do NAV at the end of the year. Is it right? So this is my calculation. NAV at the end of year. Is it all right? Sir, should I not start with beginning of the year? No. Now we have become matured in calculation of NAV, so I can directly do this. First, you are having this, you have not sold any of the securities. So you are having equity shares. What is market value of the equity shares? Yes, you have purchased 80 lakh shares, but what is market value right now? At the end of the year, equity shares are quoted at 175%. So what will be equity shares value? $80 lakhs into 175%. First approach. 175% of what? practically it should be, if nothing is given, it should be of a face value. That's correct. So let us not see what is done in such a state. But this 80 lakhs was market value at that time. So what was the face value of equity shares purchased? 50 lakhs. Multiplied by 175%. Let me read it again. At the end of the year, equity shares are quoted at 175%. So this is the statement which is given. 175% of your cost? No, of face value. Normally it should be treated of face value. Is it correct? So it is 50 lakhs into 175. This is the equity shares. These two securities are remaining same, 8 lakh and 5 lakhs. It is 8 lakhs and 5 lakhs. 7% and 9%. Debentures are 5 lakhs. Now there is face value also and our price also, because the market price is not given. Is correct. So 10% debentures are quoted at 90%. So 10% debentures, 5 lakh into 90% is 4 lakh 50,000. Let me also find out this. 50 lakhs into 175%. It is 87 lakh 50,000. This all I have considered. I issued 10 lakhs. Nothing is increasing, decreasing. During the year, dividend of 12 lakhs were received. Interest on all types of received. 10% debentures are quoted. So there is that. There will be one more asset, which is cash balance. And believe me, this is a simple question of finding out your closing cash balance. What was your opening cash? You have issued 10 lakhs rupees, 1 crore rupees, out of which you have purchased security worth rupees 98 lakhs. So your opening cash balance, opening was 2 lakhs rupees. Now you have purchased all this. This I have already considered in opening cash. During the year, a dividend of 12 lakhs was received on equity shares plus dividend received 12 lakhs rupees. Interest on all types of debt securities were received as and when due. So what is the interest on all the security? 8 lakh into 7%. It is 56,000. 5 lakh into 9%. 45,000. 5 lakh into 10% is 50,000. It is 1,51,000. etc. This much amount of interest was received during the year. Interest on various securities is 1,51,000. Stop. As and when due, at the end of the year, the equity shares, this I have already considered while calculating NAV. Other investments are at par. Find out NAV per unit so that the operating expenses paid during the year was 5 lakhs minus operating expense paid. Now when it is paid, it will not come in outstanding liability. It will be just reduced from cash, which is 5 lakhs rupees. What will be my cash balance? 2 lakh plus 12 lakhs plus 1,51,000 minus 5 lakh is a 10,51,000. This is my cash balance. Cash balance is 10,51,000. There are no outstanding liabilities. No, we have purchased 4 securities. Still we are having 4 security. Whatever was paid as expenditure was already paid. There is no outstanding. This will be my total asset, net asset. It is 87,50,000 plus 8 lakhs plus 5 lakhs plus 4,50,000 plus 10,51,000. It is 1,15,51,000. 1,15,51,000 is net asset. Number of units are 10 lakhs. It will be 11.551. This 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 11.551 rupees per unit will be nothing but NAV at the end of the year. That's all. All market value asset plus cash balance minus outstanding liability. In this question it was 0. Divided by number of units is nothing but NAV. But in this particular case, they are asking one more question. Also find out the NAV if mutual fund has distributed a dividend of 0.80 per unit during the year to unit holders. That's correct. So if mutual fund has distributed, what was your total asset in normal scenario? 1 crore 15 lakh 51,000 minus. If mutual fund has distributed some dividend, your cash balance will decrease. Number of units are going to remain same. Just your cash balance will decrease. By how much? Dividend of 0.80 to 10 lakh unit holders is nothing but 8 lakhs. So your cash balance will decrease by 8 lakhs. Your total assets will decrease by 8 lakhs. This will be your total asset. 1 crore 15 lakh 51,000 minus 8 lakhs. 1 crore 7 lakh 51. 1 crore 7 lakh 51,000. Number of units will be decreasing? No. It will remain 10 lakhs. So it is 1 crore 7 lakh 51,000 divided by 10 lakhs. 1 crore 7 lakh 51,000 divided by 10 lakhs. It is 10.751. 10.751. Believe me, NAV of mutual fund changes if some money is distributed to unit holders. Yes, it is indifferent for unit holders, but for mutual fund NAV will decrease. Is it alright? If some of it is distributed to unit holders. Is it alright? My question is, in see each and every question, this figure is remaining same, number of units. So mutual fund holders are so much loyal that they are not selling even a single unit in all the questions that we have done up till now. These units are remaining same. So if I was holding 1 lakh units, I am still holding this 1 lakh units. Right or wrong? Any student can give the answer. No one? I am so much loyal that, see, number of units are remaining same. So I am not selling my mutual fund during the year, and no one is selling their mutual fund during the year.
No, sir.
Then
You would be selling it to someone, but someone would be purchasing it. So ultimately, it will remain 10 lakhs only.
exactly, try to understand this is the same as shares. Reliance has issued 10 crore shares. Now, if I sell my shares, someone is purchasing. Purchase and sale happens in secondary market, not in primary market. Yes, the mutual fund might issue some new units, then number of units will increase. mutual fund might buy back some of the units, then number of units will decrease. It is same as the shares. It does not mean that all the persons are loyal and they are not purchasing and selling the mutual fund. It is happening, but it is happening in secondary market, and once it happens in secondary market, number of units does not changes for mutual fund. They are purchased by someone, sold by someone. Ultimately, number of units for mutual fund remains same. Is it correct? Next question. 13. In 13, there are some weird assumptions which are to be taken. I don't say it is difficult question, but there are some weird assumptions which are to be taken. Based on the following data, estimate the NAV on per unit basis of regular income scheme of mutual fund. Sorry. Says this word is as came a regular income scheme of mutual fund. Let me explain you some of the mutual fund having different names. Equity oriented mutual fund, debt mutual fund, gold mutual fund. Why this type of name? Try to concentrate. If you invest in equity oriented mutual fund, if you are purchasing some of the units of equity oriented mutual fund, this type of mutual fund will be creating a portfolio in equity shares. If you invest in debt oriented mutual fund, normal investment of this mutual fund manager will invest in debt instrument. So it is a somewhat less risky mutual fund. If it is purely invested in equity shares, it is more risky mutual fund. Is that right? Very risky mutual fund. They invest in equity shares having higher beta, higher risk. Then that type of mutual funds are more risky. Your expected return will be also higher, but your ultimately risk will be also higher in such type of gold mutual fund. You will be giving money to mutual fund. Mutual fund will be investing in gold bonds or actual physical gold. Is it alright? This is nothing but understanding of the names. This is income scheme. So regular income, it might be a debt mutual fund. Listed equity shares at cost 40 lakhs. Cash in hand 2.76 lakhs. Bond and debentures at cost 8.96 lakhs. Of this bonds, not listed bonds are 2.5 lakhs. So this figure is included in this. Other fixed interest securities at cost. Dividend accrued. Amount payable on shares. Expenditures accrued. Current realizable value of fixed income securities of a face value of rupees 100, I think it is this. Is 96.50. Number of units, rupees 10 face value is 2,75,000. All the listed equity shares were purchased at a time when market portfolio index was 12,500. On NAV date, the market portfolio index is 19,975. There has been diminution of 15% in unlisted bonds and debentures valuation. Listed bonds and debentures carries a market value of 7.5 lakhs on NAV date. Operating expenses paid during the year amounted to 2.24 lakhs. Sorry. I need to find out NAV. What I will be doing? First, I will be listing all the assets. Sorry. Let me list all the assets which are given. Sorry. NAV. Which are the assets? First is equity shares. Then it is cash on hand. Let me write down here itself. Bond and debentures at cost of this bonds not listed and not quoted. Is it correct? So bond, listed, and bond, unlisted. Other fixed interest security at cost 9.75. dividend occurred 1.95. Is the dividend occurred my asset? The answer is yes. Dividend is yet to be received, which is occurred, so it is my asset. Dividend occurred is 1.95. Should I write it down in lakhs? Yes, I may. It is 1.95. Amount payable on shares. Now try to understand, this company might have purchased the shares without paying for it. So payment of shares is outstanding. This is liability and it should be deducted. It's correct. It is how much? Amount payable on shares is 13,54,000 minus liability amount payable on shares. It is 13.54. Expenditures occurred. Outstanding expenditure 1.76 lakhs. Stop. Current realizable value of fixed income security. So let me first write down cost of all security. The shares were of 40 lakhs. Cash is 2.76 lakhs. Bond and debentures which are listed is 8.96 minus 2.50. Is listed because 2.50 is unlisted. Fixed interest security is 9.75. These all are cost of this particular instruments. Current realizable value of a fixed income security of face value of rupees 100 is 96.50. So I am assuming you have purchased at face value, which is 9.75. Now at that time face value was 100. Now the market price is 96.50. So what will be market value of fixed interest security? Normally there is no market value of fixed interest security, but here it is given, so I will be taking it. It is 96.50. So what will be my value of investment is multiplied by 96.50 divided by 100. Let me do it. It is 9.75 multiplied by 96.5 divided by 100. It is 9.40875. As the rupees are in lakhs, I am not rounding it off. Sorry. This will be market value of fixed interest securities. Number of units 2,75,000. All the listed equity shares were purchased at a time when market portfolio index was a 12,500. On any date, the market portfolio index is 19,975. So how much it has increased? 19,975 minus 12,500. Is it alright? 19,975 divided by 12,500. It should be 19,975 minus 12,500. It is 7,475. On 12,500 is how much percentage? 7,475 divided by 12,500 is 0.598 percentage. Is it all? Now, see, nowhere in the question beta is given. Actually, they should give you beta of equity shares. They have not given beta of equity shares. Is there any point which gives you beta of equity shares? The answer is no. I am assuming, please understand, you can take a different assumption. I am assuming beta of a security of shares as 1. 1 is nothing but beta of market. So if market has increased by some percentage, the equity shares will increase by the same percentage. Is that all right? So what was your value of equity shares? 40 lakhs. When this was your value? When market was 12,500. Now the market is 19,975. Then what will be the value of your equity shares? Please understand, this happens only if beta is 1. Beta is 1 is given or assumed? It is assumed. Yes, sir, if beta is 2, can you give me the answer? Believe me, you will have to find out a percentage increase in market. Suppose percentage increase in market is 5%. Then your security will increase by 10%. We have understood concept of beta, and in beta this we have done. But let us assume beta of shares is 1 over here. That's all. So what will be market value of your security? 40 lakhs into 19,975 divided by 12,500. It is 63 lakh 92,000. So what will be market value of the shares is 63.92. There has been diminution in 15% in unlisted bonds and debentures of valuation. Unlisted bonds minus 15%. Where are debentures? Yes, bonds and debentures at cost. So this is also 15%. Listed bond and debentures carries unlisted bonds and debentures. So unlisted part is a diminution by 15%. And listed bond and debentures are carrying a market value of 7.5 lakhs. So this is having a market value of 7.5 lakhs. On NAV. Operating expenses paid during the year is 2.24 lakhs. Start. Now, see, there are assumption. Sir, this 2.24 is already deducted while finding out cash in hand. Is it alright? Can I assume this? The answer is yes. Sir, this is yet to be deducted from cash balance, 2.24. Then 2.24 should be deducted. Sir, which approach is more correct? Both are correct. If nothing is given, see whether the cash balance is given at the end or beginning, they have not written. Is it all? Here also they have not written anything. Particulars and rupees. Cash in hand is 2.76 lakhs. After paying this expenditure or before paying this expenditure, they have not given. You can assume anything. Is it all right? See what I am assuming. I am assuming operating expense is already deducted from cash. Whatever assumption might be taken in suggested, don't worry about it. You are studying at a level CA final level. If this is deducted in suggested, it is absolutely alright. We are assuming that they are already deducted, so we are not rededucting it. It is 2.76 lakhs. Unlisted will be 2.5 minus 15 percentage. It is 2.125. 2.5 multiplied by 0.15 minus 2.5. It is 2.125. Dividend occurred. I have taken into consideration all the assets, all the liabilities. I will be getting net asset divided by number of units. I will be getting NAV. 63.92 plus 2.76 plus 7.5 plus 2.125 plus 9.40875 plus 1.95 minus 13.54 minus 1.76 is equal to 72.36375. Number of units is 2,75,000, 2.75 lakhs. NAV will be 72.36375 divided by 2.75, 26.31. Is nothing but NAV of this particular scheme, which was nothing but asked. Start. Next question. Right. 6.17. Following information is related to XYZ regular income fund. I might not be doing this. Listed shares at cost, cash in hand, bond and debentures at cost. Of this, bonds are not listed and quoted is 1. Other fixed interest security at cost. Dividend occurred. Account payable on shares. Expenditure occurred. Number of units. Current realizable value of fixed income securities of face value 100 is 106.5. The listed shares were purchased when index was this. It was this. Value of listed bonds and debentures at NAV date is rupees 8. Value of listed bonds and debentures, no, it is 8 crores. Start. Calculate NAV of the scheme on per unit basis. If there has been a diminution of 20% in unlisted bonds and debentures and other fixed interest securities are valued at cost. Is it alright? So, practically, other fixed interest security are valued at this statement should not be given. It is already valued at market price. The current realizable value of fixed income securities of face value 100 is 106.5. Otherwise, this question is absolutely same as the previous question. Is it alright? So we are not redoing it. It is just the figures have changed. Otherwise, every other information is one and the same. Is it alright? .18. Again an easy question. On 1st April 2009, Fair Return Mutual Fund has the following asset at the price 4 p.m. So number of shares are given, market price is given, number of units of fund is 8 lakhs. NAV of the fund as on 1st April 2009. Let me find out value of total asset divided by number of units. NAV as on 1st April. What will be this multiplication of this 4? 10,000 into 19.7 is equal to M plus 50,000 into 482.6 is equal to M plus 10,000 into 264.40 is equal to M plus 1 lakh into 674.90 is equal to M plus and 30,000 into 25.9 is equal to M plus. MRC is 9 crore 52 lakh 38,000. 9 crore 52 lakh 38,000 divided by number of units 8 lakhs. 9 crore 52 lakh 38,000 divided by 8 lakhs. It is 119.04. 119.04. This is 38,000. 9 crore 52 lakh 38,000. Rupees per unit will be NA. Assuming that on 1st April 2009, Mr. X sends a check of 50 lakhs to the fund and the fund management immediately purchases 18,000 shares of C Limited and balance is held in bank, then what will be the position of the fund? Is it alright? See, if I am in your place, write down the answer logically. Answer number A is this. Answer number B is there will be no change in NAV of fund. That's correct. See, if you feel that this is an RTP question, but if you feel that the question is of 8 marks, you can re-find out NAV. Because they are not telling you NAV, they are telling you about the position. So what will be the position of the fund? A, B, and which share will increase? The C Limited shares will increase. Is it all? So how much money we have got? 50 lakhs. What we have done as a mutual fund, what we have done with this 50 lakhs, we have purchased 18,000 shares of C Limited, which are right now quoted at 264.40. We have purchased 18,000 shares of C Limited at the rate of 264.4. What expenditure we might have done? 18,000 multiplied by 264.4. It is 47,59,200. Remaining would have been invested in cash. It is 2,40,800 would be in cash. This is what we have done with this 50 lakhs rupees. Is it? We have purchased 18,000 shares of C Limited. Now suppose on 2nd April, that is next day, at 4 p.m. the market price of shares is as follows. Then what will be new NAV? Calculation of new NAV. Start. Which all shares we are having? A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. And cash balance of 2,40,800. How many shares of A, B, C, D, E we are having? 10, 50, 10, 1,30,000. How many new shares we have purchased with this money? C Limited 18,000. What is market price of this particular securities as on this date? 20.30. They are in sequence. Yes. 20.3. 513.7. 290.8. 671.9, 44.2. This will be nothing but net asset. Yes, sorry. Try to understand the number of units will change. Huh? Number of units. That calculation we have not done. This person gave us the 50 lakhs rupees. When the NAV was 119.04. So this many new units would have issued to this person. 50 lakhs divided by 119.04. It is 42,003 units. You can take even decimal that we have discussed. Is it alright? New units. So number of units, what was original number of units is 8 lakh. Number of units will be 8,42,003 units. And I will be getting answer of NAV as on second. I'm not redoing it. You can just do this divided by 8,42,003 rupees. Is it alright? This is just M plus. Add this. Sir, in examination, we need to write down this figure. The answer is no. Believe me. The things which can be done in calculator, no need to show it. Is it alright? Even if at lower standard you need to show it, but at this level you need not show this all figures. You can directly write down this figure, find out M plus, find out this figure, and you will be getting NAV as on 2nd April. Is it alright? You need to find out this figure in your examination. This is an interesting question. There are two mutual funds, viz. D mutual fund and K mutual fund, each having close-ended equity scheme. So there are two mutual funds, D and K. NAV as on 31/12/2014 of equity scheme of D mutual fund is 70.71, consisting 99% equity and remaining cash balance. And that of K mutual fund is 62.50, consisting of 96% equity and balance in cash. Let me draw this two mutual fund, D and K. Start. What is NAV? As on 31/12/2014, this is 70.71. This is K mutual fund is 62.50. The equity investment is not given in nominal terms but in percentage. So let us assume if total portfolio is 100 rupees in each mutual fund. You can take it 100 crore, you can take it 1000 crore, you can take it 10 rupees, it does not matter. Is it alright? So let us assume total portfolio and write down, this is assumption. It does not make any difference. Is 100 rupees, is 100 rupees. Then what would be invested in equity? Consisting 99% of equity. So here equity will be 99 and cash will be 1. And K mutual fund 62.50 consisting 96% of equity. See, when I take 100 as a base or when I take 100 as my assumption, the things become somewhat simple. 4 will be in cash. Following is the other information. Now understand this information, you will understand only if you have done concept of portfolio management. We have done all this ratio, Sharpe ratio, Trainer's ratio and standard deviation. There is no change in portfolio during the next month and annual average cost is rupees 3 per unit for the scheme of both mutual fund. It is 3 per unit, yes. If the share market goes down by 5% within a month, calculate expected NAV after a month for the scheme of both mutual fund. See, in RTP, this type of mistakes are normally there. There is no change in portfolio during the next month. This is an incorrect statement which is given. If share market goes down by 5% within a month, calculate expected NAV after a month for a scheme of both of the mutual fund. For calculation, consider 12 months in a year and ignore number of days for a particular month. Alright. So try to concentrate. This is a typical point. Annual average cost is rupees 3 per unit for the scheme of both mutual fund. Is that alright? The data given is of month. Is that alright? It is of month. Yes. If the share market goes down by 5% within a month, calculate expected NAV after a month for the scheme of both of the mutual fund. Right now, let us ignore this 3 rupees. Or what you can do is you can even assume number of units. Sorry. This is say 10 units at the rate of rupees 10. Then 3 rupees will be higher. 100 rupees, 100 units at the no. It is alright. Let's not, we'll be doing this last. If the share market goes, this is alright. What is now Sharpe ratio? Try to concentrate. Sharpe ratio is a return of security minus risk-free rate of return divided by standard deviation. Trainer's ratio is return of security minus RF upon beta. Start it. Now what is Sharpe's ratio of D mutual fund? Is the 2. RS minus RF is not given, but standard deviation of D mutual fund is available. It is 11.25. So for this, RS minus RF is equal to 11.25 into 2. It is 22.5. What will be beta then? I can find out. Because trainer's ratio is given. Trainer's ratio is 15. 15 is equal to this answer I have found out. 22.5 I will be getting answer of beta. Whereby beta will be is equal to 22.5 divided by 15. It is 1. Let me find out beta similarly of K mutual fund. Sharpe's ratio is 3.3. Don't worry much if you don't know portfolio management, because in portfolio management I have explained Sharpe's ratio, trainer's ratio like anything for 1-2 hours. You can watch it and you'll be getting an idea. It is RS minus RF upon standard deviation of K. Standard deviation of K is 5. So RS minus RF of this particular mutual fund K is 5 into 3.3. It is 16.5. So I've got RS minus RF. Trainer's ratio of K is 15. This is also 15. Yes. Trainer's ratio is same. RS minus RF is 16.5 divided by beta. So beta will be is equal to 16.5 divided by 15, which is nothing but 1.1. Start it. Now try to concentrate what does the question says. How much of the portfolio right now we are having? Let me calculate first of D. How much portfolio we are having? 99 equity and 1 cash. So at the end of the month also, my portfolio will remain 99 equity and 1 cash. Is it alright? NAV is 70.71. Total portfolio is 100. So number of units I will have to find out from these two figures. Is it alright? I can find out. Start. Can I say total asset divided by number of units is equal to NAV? Let me go on this side. Total asset divided by number of units is equal to NAV. We are having NAV 70.71. Total asset, total portfolio is 100. I can find out number of units. Number of units will be 100 divided by 70.71. It is 1.41423. As we have taken this 100 figure, the number of units are coming weird. Is it alright? But it is absolutely alright. This is for D. What will be for K? Number of units will be 100 divided by 62.5. it is 1.6. It is exact 1.6. Yes. Number of units is 1.6. Is it not? Alright. A 99 equity, 1 cash. Is it right? Now try to concentrate the concept of beta. Again, if you have not understood beta properly, this might not get into your mind, but it is absolutely alright. 99% of equity. See what does beta means? What is beta of first D? It is 1.5. If market increases one time, if market increases one time, the security or shares will increase 1 into beta. Beta is 1.5. That is 1.5 times. Now it is given the market goes down by 5% within a month. So my shares will go down by 5%. No. 5 into 1.5. It is 7.5. 7.5%. So shares will go down by 7.5%. Sir, market has gone down by 5%. Beta shows a relationship between security and market. If market decreases one time, the shares will decrease 1.5 times. Is it all right? So if market has decreased by 5%, the shares will decrease by 7.5%. So what is equity shares of this D? It is a 99 minus 7.5% equal to. It is a 91.575. Cash will remain as it is. The answer is no, because there are some expenditures also going on. Sorry. Now the expenditures are given in weird manner. Annual average cost is rupees 3 per unit for scheme of both the mutual fund. So let me verify answer from suggested and let me see what assumption they have taken, whether it is per month or per annum. This is RTP question, so I'm not going much into detail of what mistake they have made in giving the question. Cash element is 0.71. Yes, they have converted into per month. Yes, it should be converted into per month. Then it is correct. It is 3 divided by 12 will be per month cost per unit. Is it alright? It is 3 divided by 12. It is 0.25. 0.25 rupees per. So what will be cash expenditure of D mutual fund? 1.41423. 1.41423 multiplied by 0.25. This will be my cash expenditure which should be deducted. 1.41423 multiplied by 0.25. It is 0.353557. What is of this? Let me write it down properly. For D mutual fund. What was cash balance before? 1 rupee. What is expenses for this month? It is 3 rupees per annum, that is 0.25 rupees per month, multiplied by number of units. Number of units were 1.41423. So what will be expenditure? It is 1.41423 multiplied by 0.25. It is 0.3535. 0.3535. What will be cash balance at the end of the period? It is 1 minus 0.3535 will be is equal to 0.6465. What will be cash balance now? It is 0.6465, 91.575 plus 0.6465 is equal to 92.2215 is the total asset. So all figures are coming very weird. Exactly because we have assumed that our total portfolio is 100 rupees. Number of units is 1.41423. NAV at the end of 1 month is 92.2215 divided by 1.41423. It is 65.209. 65.209. Which will be NAV at the end of the month. This is NAV at the end of the month. Is it all right? Let me again do it of K mutual fund. Is it all right? K mutual fund. What you are having at the beginning of the month? Equity and cash balance. How much equity you are having in K? You are having 96. How much cash you are having? 4. That's all. What is beta of K? 1.1. How much market has decreased? 5%. If market decrease by 5%, K the shares will decrease by 5% into 1.1. That is beta. That is a 5.5%. So what will be new value? Minus 5.5%. It is 96 minus 5.5 percentage. It is 90.72. What will be cash? There is an expenditure. What is expenditure for K? Annual average cost per unit of the scheme of both mutual fund. So it is 0.25 per month minus 0.25 per month. How many number of units were there in this mutual fund? We have found out. A number of units is 1.6. Here it is coming rounded off figure. So it becomes easy. How I have found out number of units? Total asset divided by NAV gives me number of units by this formula. So it is multiplied by 1.6 will be my expenditure. What will be new cash balance? 1.6 multiplied by 0.25 is my expenditure is 0.4 minus 4 is 3.6. So I am having a cash balance of 3.60 rupees. What will be my total asset of portfolio? It is 90.72 plus 3.6 is 94.32 divided by number of units. As per my assumption, number of units is coming 1.60 because I have taken total portfolio as 100. NAV at the end of the period is 94.32 divided by 1.6. It is 94.32 divided by 1.6. It is 58.95. It is NAV at the end of the period. A good concept because some of the concept of portfolio management is also included. Some of the concept of beta is also included in this particular question. Alright, again 6.21 is the same question. Alright, just let us read it. Calculate NAV as on 1st August. Mr. Zubin is giving 30 lakhs rupees. They are purchasing 8,000 shares of R Limited. Calculate new NAV of the fund as on 2nd August. This type of question we have already done. This is C6.21. See, why I include this type of question in classwork is just because you get an idea that this type of questions are repeated n numbers of times in examination. It is May 18 question of 10 marks. Is it alright? So this paper is this is just multiplication and dividing, and you'll be getting an answer, and this 10 marks will not take more than 3 minutes. So time wise also you'll be benefited n numbers of times. Is it alright? This is end of calculation of NAV. What we'll be doing in third lecture is we will be doing some of the lengthy questions. I will not say they are difficult. Some of the lengthy questions of mutual fund, and we'll be ending the concept of mutual fund. Let us go to some questions and answers, doubts if you are having in this particular lecture. Any student having doubt?